It's another day. It's August, RPG Day 2018. Today I am your host. I'm Clint, and I am joined by Theo. I know, we keep messing that up.
Yeah,
Are you introducing yourself or I am? I feel like I introduce you more often than anything. I'm joined by Theo and Johnathan.
Hi.
And today's question is, how can a GM make the stakes important?
We teased that at the end of the last video.
Did we? We kind of did.
I was on the phone, so...
Yeah, you got called. That was funny.
You had laughed. That was cute.
Well, for me, one way I think you can kind of make the stakes a little more important for your players, you can either, do something like reduce their power, take away an item that they cherish, or, an NPC that's been helping them. Or you can give them some bullcrap, long-ass involved quest that results in, oh, you got the rock up the mountain. It rolled back down. Ha ha.
You're now Tantalus.
Or, my favorite, is you give them some sort of a handicap in real life. Like, okay, you can no longer erase off your sheet. Or like, okay, you have to stand for the next hour. Just make it harder to, think.
Ugh.
You're a terrible person.
Oh my God.
Why do people game with
I
you?
never even thought of that stuff.
That's me.
It's messed up. What weird North Korean fucking RPG games are you in?
Today you play DKRPG. Stand for hour, then make die rolls.
You gotta do a handstand for an hour. Thank you for that line.
I need you to do a perfect handspring, and then I will allow you to make the acrobatics check.
So I'm not as mean as him. I'll use as I mentioned in the last video, when players give me their backstories, I incorporate it into the game. So I've actually had the bad guys threaten families that the characters have built up and everything like that. And I think my favorite moment was a paladin character, a paladin player, and me threatening his home village and where he came from, and just how he threw himself into protecting everybody and doing all that. And I let him do it. He survived. He did everything right. It was really great. But after the game, he just looked at me and went, "Damn, dude. Damn, I never thought you'd actually do that to one of us. We keep mocking you about not threatening us and making this kind of stuff nice and simple. But damn, you just went all stops and made the entire group just go, oh shit, we have to help. We have to help our players out and just go for it. And it was a lot of fun, but." That's how I make the stakes seem really important in games and everything like that.
That dovetails nicely, and how you said that is, they make fun of you for not, oh, you say all this stuff. It's when the GM follows through with his threats.
Yes.
That is when the stakes are made. That's how you make the stakes real, is when you tell them you're going to do something, and when they call your bluff, you kick them in the face.
This is gaming!
You actually, because Exalted, the main thing is in Exalted, you're basically a demigod. You're all powerful. You can basically rip a mortal in half. You can go full God of War 1 on people. Just push B, rip someone in half. Well, you shouldn't do that. Basically, the thing is that this thing called the Wild Hunt will come after you, and they're a bunch of high-leveled Exalted of their own cast, and they will ruin your day. Well, you know what? No one ever believes you. So they end up doing their own junk, and they end up screwing around and thinking they get away with this crap. So then you have to legitimately almost kill one of them with the freaking Wild Hunt and chase them around for a month.
It's highly satisfying. To
get the point, no, you can't do this. You have the power of a god, but you gotta kind of hide that shit.
On a fun note with Exalted, I was talking with a friend of mine. He's playing the older edition of Exalted, and he's like, just sitting here playing Exalted. And I was like, old or new? And he goes, it's the old one. I'm just here for the ride. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, that's okay. That's most Exalted games. Yeah. You're pretty much a demigod, and someone's going, I'm doing this. And people are like, have fun, small child. Enjoy yourself. Let loose with your passions and do your own thing. Yeah. The 40k RPGs have the exact same thing. Oh, you want to read this really terrible book? Sure. Gain some corruption. You might start mutating. Then gotta get shot in the head. Or my favorite one is Call of Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu has the best mechanic for, I'm just going to try and learn stuff. The stakes are important. You're going to go insane.
Yeah, you stay in the back of the group and you burn all the books. That's what you do.
Yep.
How you close your eyes, cover your ears, burn the books, shout la 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 la, and the thing might not eat you.
My favorite in that kind of vein with those sort of games, Call of Cthulhu and whatnot, is someone giving you a hard time, they're not believing you're going to mess with them. That's great. maybe they just happen to stumble across an occult picture that tickles their mind the wrong way. You know?
It's so satisfying.
But yeah, you can't show remorse when you're following through on your threats. Not until at least the game's over. You know, after out of game, you can always, bet.
I mean, there's a difference though between what there's a difference between like, hey, if you guys don't stop being assholes, I'm just gonna throw a terror ask at you and just wipe the party. No, it's the fact of like you basically give the veiled warning thing, like storyline wise, like with Call of Cthulhu things, like, hey, if you see this stuff. And then they start nosing around.
Yeah.
No, then you make them go insane or exalted. Hey, this whole arm of the military is trained to come hunt and kill you. Don't be noticeable. That's a part of the story. And they start doing stuff like that. You have to follow through. But yeah, don't lean towards being an ass.
I did this to a player. He was playing. He was the cleric, by the way. This will make the story even better. He was the cleric, and they never really dealt with dying in Pathfinder, so it takes a lot to kill you.
It just takes a lot.
The older edition of Pathfinder, there's a playtest for second edition coming up. We'll be discussing that later. And the older edition, you had to get enough damage to get your hit points down to your con modifier to die. Takes a lot. So we had a cleric player.
It's not even your con modifier, it's your con score.
Or con score. Yeah,
it's
I know.
Even more.
Yeah, it's even harder. Like, I have a con of 17. Well, shit. So, the best part was, he refused to heal himself. They're in a major combat. They're fighting a creature that when it dies, it explodes. and deals a bunch of damage.
Oh, wait, I know what that is. Isn't that stupid crab thing?
No, it's a frostworm. Frostworms explode.
The crabs do the same thing, too.
Frostworms explode when they die, dealing 100 damage in a 60-foot radius. It's not dice rolling, it's a straight just number in triple digits of this is how much damage we do. And it's on a hit roll. So if I hit you, you just take that much damage. And it's glorious. So this character, because I never introduced a character that did that, it was always, they never really fought monsters like this. Well, one character put one to sleep. The other one died far enough away that no one was hit, so everyone's like, whatever, and didn't think about it. One of the other players walks up, the paladin actually, coup de grace the sleeping worm. It explodes. He's at full health. He's almost dead. Every other character in the group is like, ouch. The player looks at me and goes, I'm dead. Why didn't you heal yourself? I didn't think you'd ever do this. And we're supposed to, be a little bit like, I'm sorry your character died. I admit I was not. I was laughing maniacally. Because this player had been vexing me for years in our gaming table, going, you can't kill me, taunting me all the time. I would try.
Oh, I know exactly
it never
what you're
worked.
Talking about
yep.
I know exactly.
And when he finally died, because of his own stupidity and trying to do something and not thinking you're the cleric, heal yourself because you're a frontline cleric. It was just this glorious, beautiful moment and became the best moment of the use of the reincarnation spell ever. And we'll tell that one during a different question on some hilarious mistakes that became great, which is another question for later. But it's just great.
But with that, remember, comment, subscribe, ring the bell if you're into that. I don't ring the freaking bell on anyone's channel, so I'm not going to ask you to do it. But send us emails if you want. It's all down there in the description thing, and we'll see you for the next question.